because we are here, because we are here, because we are here. We are here because we are here, because we are here, because we are here.
Reaching you wherever you are. ZIZ Radio, the golden voice of the nation.
This message brought to you by ZIZ and the Fire Department of St. Kitts and Nevis.
I am Woman Fire Officer Mavis White Archibald with your safety tip for today. If a fire occurs in your home, get out, stay out, and call for help. Never go back inside the house for anyone or anything.
This message was brought to you by ZIZ and the St. Kitts Nevis Fire Department.
All right, welcome back to the show, and welcome to our weekly program. Every Tuesday morning, 9:30, we take some time out to check in with the guys from the Fire and Rescue Services here in St. Kitts and Nevis. In studio with me this morning, we have Fire Sub Officer Hodge in the studio with me. Good morning.
Good morning, GQ. Getting it right after you.
Yeah, you know, I've been trying to get the official title, right? I normally just introduce as Mr. Hodge, right? But
Yes.
Fire Sub Officer, got it this
Fire
time.
Substation
Officer, right? Still getting it wrong. Welcome to the studio. Welcome to the studio. And to our listeners and viewers, you can join our conversation if you like. At any point, we're going to have an open conversation this morning, so to speak. So if you have any concerns that you would like to share with Mr. Hodge, you can do so. If you have any questions as well, you can do so. And if you have any suggestions, all right, we're open for your inputs today. So, Mr. Hodge, welcome once again, and let's start our conversation.
All right, good morning, GQ, and as usual, it's a pleasure to be here on ZIZ to share any knowledge pertaining to our fire department. Good morning to the listening and viewing audience. And today I would just like to continue the conversation that we were having last week of how fires can be started in the home, and, you know, piggybacking off of that a bit, what you should do in the event of fires in the home. Mm-hmm. We could also speak a little bit on the fire prevention practices and so forth. So we, as again I say, last week we covered what causes fires in the home, the simple things that could cause fires in the home, having the job card or socket overloaded, leaving the stove unattended, having curtains hang too close to the stove, and the bad practices that we seem to can't get away from. So again, I would just like to reiterate, you know, we know things that we should not do, and let's practice the right way. Smoking on the bed, smoking on the couch, all of those are no-nos. You know, the best place to smoke is in the back of your yard. And even while behind there, you walk with your nice little ashtray to prevent a bushfire in your yard, because that in itself could be detrimental to you according to the height of the vegetation and the how dry that vegetation might be.
Right, right.
So yes, fire prevention. The term fire prevention is any measure taken by an individual or organization that will aid in the prevention and detection of a fire, or in the event of a fire helps to minimize its effect on life or property. So everything we have been talking about basically is covered under fire prevention. And I would like for all of our citizens to come on board, just be a part of preventing fires. Because our society today is one where persons have so much health issues, mainly pertaining to the asthmatics. any little smoke or anything in any given area, it's detrimental and it can be harmful to life. We are blessed by not having so much serious effect from these persons with those health issues. But I would like to urge and admonish persons to move away still from lighting fires in the community and having safe fire practices in the home. We can't do without the fire, because you can't do without your nice little cook up and your little barbecue, anything. But let us practice safe practices. Let us take any safety measures while using fire. So, in terms of sensitizing persons, what is fire? Fire, persons just see it as flames. But fire is a chemical reaction of combustible materials. Fire is a chemical reaction. It's chemical reaction of combustible materials where heat and light are produced. The flame basically being that. And a fire is very easy to combat if you know exactly what you are doing. Because there are three main elements of fire, being oxygen, heat, and the fuel. The fuel is what is burning. The oxygen is needed to sustain the burning or sustain combustion. And the heat is produced. And well, actually, the heat is needed as well, because everything must be at the appropriate temperature, the appropriate percentage in this case for the fire to happen. And what we do in the fire department, first you have to understand the fire and how it operates, and then you decide how you would attack it, and that way it eventually put it out.
Okay, so you determine the cause, and then you go from there.
Yes, well, so given the area, what we do mostly is cooling. So that's by throwing water on it, you take away the heat. But if it's something simple, like a fire in a drum, or a fire in a room that could be contained by just shutting a door. If you determine that, hey, there's nothing else in that room that could be salvaged, and you could contain the fire right in that room, it would eventually starve itself out of oxygen
And not leave the room.
and not leave the room, because it cannot go on without having these three elements, being the oxygen, the heat, and the fuel. So it would use up all the fuel that is in there, and then it would basically die out, smother itself.
Here's a question for you. I remember Mr. Martin indicated that on one of the past shows, but I didn't ask the question. While that's an option to close and suffocate the fire, how will you know if the fire is out, the door is closed?
Well, our firefighting techniques, one of the, while searching, entering a building and you're doing search, you locate fires by feeling the door, not the doorknob itself, because if there's a fire, it will be extremely hot, but you feel the door. You use the back of your hand and you rest it on the door, on the closed door. And according to the temperature that is behind that door, you would know whether or not there is a fire. So if you are looking to smother the fire, then you do that, you feel it, and you would know that, okay, based on how cool it is at that time, then that fire has died down. It's risky though, I must say, because if there's all that heat inside there and you don't know exactly what you're doing, and you pull open that door, especially you're pulling it open too fast, you risk reintroducing oxygen And then you got a whole next problem, what we call a backdraft, where because of the rapid introduction of oxygen back to that heated room where it has everything at the right temperature, the gas is in there just fuming, waiting, and the fuel is there because everything wasn't burned off, and you open that door and the oxygen just fly in there. It creates what we call a backdraft. It's called an explosion, where it could actually just blow you back. It could damage the walls and everything, just from you not knowing what you're doing. So we, in the fire department, we try to keep training going, keep the officers abreast of the potential hazards that they themselves can create if they don't know basically what the job is.
Have you ever experienced that in a house fire?
No, I haven't experienced a backdraft, and I don't think I would like to. But I remember some years ago in Nevis, there was, I wonder if it was actually a backdraft or it was an explosion where there was a fire in some dams down at the medical university over there, MUA. And one person was thrown from one end to the next, and the door was blown off. Even the the plaster half of the wall would have been blown off. It was a very, very large explosion there.
But the closing the door has been successful, though.
Yes, and it's one of the things we encourage even in house fires, where if you're in a bedroom and the rest of the house is burning, and based on where the fire is at that time, because some of the children, you don't give them a back door. Based on where the fire is, you cannot get out. Then we encourage persons to go back in the room and close the door. If it's a bedroom, so we would assume that you have a closet with clothes, or even the sheet off of the bed if the clothes is not stored in that room. If you can pull it off and shrink the door, push it at the bottom of the door, push it to the top to keep the smoke out. So then the air inside there is much breathable for you for a much longer time.
Right.
Then that could save your life, because the fire department would have been called, I assume, and once we are on our way and once we know that, hey, you are there, we would find a way to get to you.
Okay.
If it's a single structure house and the house is large and we need to go through the wall, then we go through the wall. It's a bedroom.
Really? Wow.
It's a bedroom, then most likely there would be a window, which might be easier for us to come through. But whatever it is, we would have to do what we have to do to rescue you from that building.
Do you have the means to remove burglar bars?
Yes, we have. The Jaws of Life.
Oh, yes. yes.
The Jaws of Life works.
Yes.
And without the Jaws of Life, there are the bolt cutters, where you put some muscle into it and we get them removed.
Okay.
Yes, and the old time days, you do some prying there, some carbon steel pike poles on the truck, where you can.
So you have tools on the truck then?
Yes, that's why we are equipped. We are the ones responsible for coming and getting the job done.
Right.
Because you don't want to be calling the fire department and fire department got to wait until public works come because they want this or they want that. I mean, mind you, in certain incidents, yes, we would have to wait on the different agency to aid us, but for the most part, the fire department is outfitted and we are equipped to get the job done.
So you have to bore a hole in the wall, you can. You have to break down the door, you can. Once it's to save someone's life, right?
When you're boring the hole in the wall, ain't a cute hole you're going to get because it's a sledgehammer hole.
Well, it's to save someone's life, right? It's to save this. That's what I'm saying. Once you have the means to get in, that's what I mean. Yeah. All right. So you shared some the different ways of attacking a fire. You mentioned using water. You made mention of suffocating the fire. What are some other options?
Well, one of the other options is to just simply remove the fuel. Let's say, for instance, a bed is burning and the bed alone is on fire. You could actually just grab an end of the bed if it's not burning as yet and just drag it outside. Let that bed continue burning on the outside and the rest of your house is safe.
So when you say fuel, you mean the content that is causing the fire?
That is burning at the time.
Okay.
Yes,
Well,
anything
that's a
anything
pretty-
that burns is fuel.
But I'll be honest with you, as simple as it sounds, when a man sees fire, you don't think about that, you
Well-
think about leaving it alone, eh? Yeah.
Well, when a man know the money that he put into his house, and I've seen persons remove bed from their house maybe on 2-3 occasions. I've seen persons remove burning gas tanks, just hold them and pull them out.
Wow. That's brave.
Yes,
That's brave.
because you got to what we call man up, because you know your investment, and you don't want that to go up in flames.
So remove the content or as you put it, the fuel.
Remove the burning content.
Right.
Yes, that is separating the fuel so it can't jump from one to another. It's almost like bushfires. If you what you call cut a line, the term cutting a line,
Right.
that's creating a break between the vegetation.
Right.
That when it burns to the end, then the fire stops because there's no real fuel for it to go on onto. So it's just techniques we use in firefighting.
Got you. Any more you want to share? So we covered water, suffocation of fire, remove the burning content. What else do we have?
Yes, well, just some safety tips. I would like to advise anybody if the house is on fire, if it's past the stage where you can't use a fire extinguisher, if you have one, and the first thing you do, remember even before attempting to out the fire, the first thing you do is you call the fire department. If you can't remember the fire department's number, which is 465-4339 or 465-2515, then you can always call 911 and the call would get to the fire department. So you call any of the emergency numbers, you get to the fire department. If you're past the trying stage and you can't get that fire out, then you get out of the house, you stay out. You don't go back in to look for your wallet, don't go back in for the car key. Once you are out, you stay out, and by keeping out, you will be saving your own life. And just wait for the fire department to get there. We spoke about if someone is trapped, the trapped person might be one of your siblings, it might be your own child. But I don't know how to advise persons on this. The best thing to tell you is to wait. But I mean,
That's not reality.
If I in the situation, I don't see it as a reality. Yes.
Yeah, I know what you mean. However, it's the recommended.
The
it's
safe
recommended.
practice.
Right.
The safe practice is to get out and stay out. And you wait for the fire department to show up and to get the job done for you.
That's a tough one, boy. 465-2555. If you have any questions about what we spoke about this morning, you can do so. Or if you have any suggestions, you can do so as well. Or any concerns that you would like to raise, you can do so. It might not be pertaining to the topic, but you might have a concern that might be fire related. And Mr. Hodge is more than capable to answer your questions.
All right. And while we wait on any callers, we could speak about a little fire safety tip again. If your clothes is on fire, you know what you do. You stop, you drop, you roll. If it's clothing that you can get off quickly, you try to get it off. But otherwise than that, you stop exactly where you are. You cover your face and you roll from side to side vigorously to put that fire out. Those are one of the things we often talk about, especially with the children, but it pertains to anybody at all. I don't think I could reiterate enough about calling the fire department, because that is one of the things that persons fail to do, and it often results in persons losing property. The first thing you do if there's a fire is not to try and put it out, but to call the fire department. So just in the event that your effort fails, the fire extinguisher lasts only for so long. So yes, you can knock it down, as we call it, but if the flames do not completely go out, then with you containing it where it is, then you help the fire department to save your home.
Versus trying and then when you ain't get you call the fire.
No.
That's what you're saying. Don't do that. Don't do
that's
that.
what persons are doing, and we encourage persons not to do that.
Good morning.
Call first.
Hi, good morning. This question that I want to ask about is just a little bit, not really about the fire, but this is Guy coming up and so, right? And these big bombs that they're laying go, it ain't like they ain't have a ban on them, because just now again here in Sandy Point, they just let go one big bomb there and the school children them just start scattering. And it's like, this is not right. All in the night and so they're laying go these big bombs. And elderly are around, they have homes and so in Sandy Point. And this is not nice. Himself, me personally, they're scary because they're making your heart beat fast. You like your eardrum near like bust open and all these kind of things. Something has to be done. So somebody in the, I don't know where to, like the police or whoever, they need to look into this here, because I don't mind like a bombs, but not these ones that are exposed so much, because it's disturbing, especially the elderly. Because up to this morning, my mom said last night, like one was under her window and she's 80-something years old, and it's not right. You can't lose your loved one in this kind of situation here because they could get a heart attack. That's all I have to say right now. I don't know if anybody could tell me if they have a ban on these bombs.
Well, caller, thank you for your call and thank you for expressing your concern on this show. However, I would like to, share my own sentiments on that. Same Sandy Point. I'm a Sandy Pointer. And I was passing through driving the other night, sometime after 8, after 9. And boy, I heard one of those explode and see me vehicle ducking. And, I don't think that there is a ban on them because, hold on, Carl, I'll get back to you.
Yes, good morning, you're live.
Yes, good morning to you and the gentleman on the panel. It's true, Since last month, the laying got them thing, and I don't know when government change all these shenanigans don't happen, because them they done ban long time, Some of them big like them big candles. When the laying them got the young, they ain't affect them, but they don't affect people. I like me done in me middle age guy, I don't know what happened to this, but we're heading, Nobody put down their foot on something when you say no, it's not. It was the cool out a couple of years ago, and you look, this thing just come up again. All in 4th Street, people used to run an order. On 4th Street, who selling the little one, them, when they see the police got to take them where a guy would have sell, they told me a time, well, he did, they take where he boxed. What happened to our country? So we're going, because a younger person running it over happened, them up in the hills, So when the bomb really affect them, they're going to think it's somebody up there shooting after a monkey. I beg them come better than that, because that ain't what we put them in the for.
Yeah,
All right, thanks for your call. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yes, thank you for your call and input. I was saying, though, if they are bringing them in and they are coming through customs, then I won't want to think that there is a ban on them. Because, let's say, for instance, camouflage is banned. But most persons, if they order them, they are taken. So I would assume that if there is a ban on these bombs, that from the time they reach to the entry point of the country, that they would be taken or stopped. And it's so ironic because last year I would have seen, it's the first time I would have seen some of these big ones, and they're selling them for like $60 and $65. Persons are buying them still.
Good morning, you're live.
GQ, good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning, the good fireman them who keep this country safe.
Good morning
the
to you.
lady from Sandy Point who just called. We poor people is concerned for the 80-year woman. GQ
Yeah.
and officers, years ago, under Robert Bradshaw, you had laws. I could remember as a young boy, Rome Bastille, Chiefy Wade was in charge. Where you have to apply to Chiefy for some kind of gun they used to got. And something named Bandit Bomb, where C. Haley used to be selling. And I could tell you, the thing broke down. Because it looked to me like this is fronting. It's fronting. Them kind of explosives shouldn't be around. Could you imagine how the old lady felt the other night, as the young lady said? She wanted a feet on her window. It's terrible. And we got young men coming to us, politicians. Don't have hear us to be. Watch here. From God Save the Queen time to independence, it looks like it's pure problem in this country. Lawlessness to the highest. Jikyo, you take care. Healy man, Mokalby. See you go live with them is a different thing.
All right, Jamdong. You were saying?
Yes, I was saying that if these bombs, these explosives are coming through the port, then I won't like to think that there is a ban on them. So it's something to look into. Maybe whatever laws there is was, maybe I don't know if it was repealed, but it's something to look at.
Good morning, you're live.
Good morning. Take me up the ear and speak to you, please.
All right, hold on a second. We're going to be wrapping up the show in just a bit. Give me about maybe 2-3 minutes, and then I'll get over to you. Or you can always call back. But yes, sir, what you were saying?
Well, that's what I was saying on that. So if anybody in authority is listening, if you could please, look into it, because it's a concern. It's a real concern.
All right, let's take this next call. Good morning, you're live.
You jam down again.
Yes,
and
sir.
young man, banning these things, but the chief of police, them look like they sleeping. Banning these things. All these things got banning them, You see, man, I drive car. The next thing is this car going through these projects and these houses with these lot of set in the car. And disturbing the neighborhood early in the morning. Could you imagine how these old people? Man, come on, man. Come on. This ain't the Wild West in a GQ. This is a place named St. Kitts and Newfoundland, where we playing callous and allowing people to do as they like. Have a good day, GQ. See you when I see you.
See you when I see you, Jamdong. See you when I see you. All right, so we're going to be wrapping up the program now. Just 1 minute to go before. Yeah, I'll take his call out because you don't want to be on air. So, and I can't take his call and still have you in here. So the dynamics of taking his call right now off here will not be suffice. So I'll do that at the end of the program. And if he's gone, you can always call back. But thank you for being here and your final words.
All right. In wrapping up to the program, I would like to thank everybody for listening. Thank the persons for calling and sharing their concerns. It's always a pleasure to be here on ZIZ to impart whatever knowledge the fire department has to put out. GQ to you, Mr. Williams sends his regards. He still expressed his concerns of missing the show and so forth. But, right now he is dealing with training. Again, his hands are full with our recruits. But he's hoping to be here one of these good days.
Sounds good. Thank you for sharing that.
All right. So again, thank you all for listening, and talk to you next week, hopefully, for another edition of Fire Talk.
This message brought to you by ZIZ and the Fire Department of St. Kitts and Nevis.
I am Woman Fire Officer Mavis White Archibald with your safety tip for today. Did you know that if a fire starts in your home, you may have as little as 2 minutes to escape? During a fire, early